Good morning. Welcome to another installment of the Daily Word. Today, Luke chapter 9, verses 1 through 36. You are, in this particular section of reading, going to run into several moments that should floor you and remind you of who Jesus is. And then we should ask a couple questions of ourselves along the way. He sends out the 12 with authority to cast out demons, to heal, and to proclaim the kingdom. Herod himself is perplexed by Jesus having already had John beheaded, and people are saying John was raised from the dead. Also, they're saying he maybe was Elijah, so the king himself, or Herod, is a little perplexed by Jesus. That's something that's very interesting. He feeds the 5,000, something still unmatched today in the miraculous realm, at least, for a man who, of course, was God, but for anyone in that sense, who can claim to do miracles, who has experienced miracles in this world. Food multiplying to feed thousands. Peter confessing Jesus in verse 20, you are Christ, or the Christ of God. You are really, in a sense, the anointed one, the Messiah. Jesus foretelling his death, and then saying some very challenging things to those listening. If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. For what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? For whoever is ashamed of me and my words, of him will the Son of Man be ashamed when he comes in glory. Those are strong words. We don't often like that version of Jesus. A lot of people don't. But the reality is this. If you're ashamed of him, he's going to be ashamed of you. He said it, not me. So take it up with him. Bottom line, this thing ends, at least this passage in this text we're studying today, with the transfiguration. And the Father, a voice coming out of the cloud saying, this is my Son, my chosen one in the ESV. Listen to him. The endorsement of Yahweh, God. Here's what I would apply if I was reading this today, thinking, what can I get out of this? The first is, am I in awe of who Jesus is? Do I realize that he moves in power? Do I realize that he had the whole world at his fingertips? Do I realize that the Father sent him, chose him, and endorsed him, saying, listen to him? Do I obey Jesus like that? And then the other thing is, am I ashamed of him? So not just am I awe-stricken by him and wow, he's amazing, but do I live that way in all areas of my life? There's this thing I like to call compartment Christianity, which is, I have my Jesus and my boldness and my Christianity when I'm at the dinner table praying for the food, or when I'm with my kids or with my wife, or when I'm helping my kid with the Awana verses you see up here, or maybe I'm talking to other Christians at church. But with a neighbor, a friend, somebody at the store, a drive-through window, somebody challenging me when it comes to faith or hope or why things are the way they are in this world, am I ashamed of Jesus? Can I give his hope at all times? Or am I living my life in compartments where my Christianity is kind of over here with the other Jesus people, but then everywhere else I don't really talk about it or share hope with anybody? That's the challenge with passages like this. Am I ashamed of Jesus? Because he says, hey, if you're that way, I'm ashamed of you. What does it profit to live in this world and to not offend anyone, to gain everything, to have it all going for you, but not have Jesus? It's worthless. He is everything. So, are you in awe of who he is? And are you ashamed of who he is? Hopefully, the first answer is yes, I'm in awe of who he is. And second, no, I'm not ashamed of the gospel. Like Paul says, it's the power of God unto salvation. So live unashamed today and be in awe of whom you serve.